Hey folks, and welcome to my Demon Souls walkthrough series. My name is Graham, and I love Demon Souls. I've beat it several times, I've got the Platinum Trophy, it's very quickly became one of my favourite games of all time, and I want to hopefully try and help you beat it as well for your first time. So before we get into it, let me just take a minute to sort of talk about what this series is going to be. I'm going to do a complete playthrough of Demon Souls, as in I'm going to play through the entire game. We're going to break it down so that we'll do a video per area, and then we'll do separate videos for each of the boss fights. So the idea is essentially that you can play alongside me, you know, with maybe me on a second screen as you're going through the game yourself, and I will play it in real time, sort of live commentating over the top of it, explaining what I'm doing, explaining where I'm going, explaining how I'm doing things. And yeah, you can play alongside me and hopefully we'll get through the game together. My fundamental goal here is getting you through the game for the first time. If you've never managed to beat it before, maybe you've never even attempted to play it before and this is completely your first time. So my goal is going to be getting to and beating the end of the game. So I'm not going to do every single thing in the game. I'm not going to find every item, I'm not going to find every weapon, I'm not going to do every single side activity that you could possibly do in the game. My goal is going to be to play it kind of like how a normal person would play it through for the first time. So in this first video I'm going to cover character creation, I'm going to go through the tutorial area, and then we're going to do what I will call World 1-1 and what lots of people call World 1, which is the first proper level of the game. So starting first with my choice of class here, I have gone with Knight. I recently did a completely separate video on the best starting class to pick and the best starting gift to pick as well. So I'm not going to go into this in too much detail here. I'm going Knight. If this is your first time playing the game, I would recommend you choose Knight as well. As part of this series, I'm going to show you how I level up my character, what weapons I choose and where to get them and stuff like that. So you can literally follow my character build exactly if you want. Feel free to vary from it if you want to do that as well. If this is your first time playing, I would strongly recommend choosing Knight. The longsword that it starts with is the best melee weapon out of all the starting classes. The shield that it's got here blocks 100% of physical damage, which is really important early on. And I'm picking this because it is a melee focused class. Magic is really strong early on in the game, but I don't want you to use magic early on if you're a new player and come to rely on it as a crutch. So we're going to do a melee class, we're going to learn to fight the enemies that we're dealing with properly, and that is going to much better equip us later on in the game when we come to some of the harder stuff. Starting gift is easy. I've picked Providential Ring, it raises item discovery. The only reason for that is all of these other options here are just consumables that we'll find plenty of as we make our way through the game anyway, whereas the ring is, we can find it in the game but it's harder, so it's just the most sensible choice. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So one of the first things you're going to see after the opening cutscene is this: would you like to play the Journey to the Nexus? And it's basically just, would you like to play through the tutorial area? I'm going to run through it very quickly here just now, just because I'm assuming it's going to be your first time through the game if you're watching this, so I'm going to say yes. Okay, so we spawn in here at Outpost Passage. The very first thing we're going to do, and you should do this as well, is, and this might sound bizarre, but trust me, we're going to unequip all our armour and our second weapon. We're going to unequip everything that we are not directly using. That might sound strange, but let me explain. So let me just put this stuff back on. We'll put our armour back on. We'll put our gloves back on. We'll put our greaves back on. So with all this stuff on, I'm going to press circle, which is the roll dodge button in Demon Souls. Look how slow my guy dodges. I am doing right now what is called fat rolling, which means because I'm so heavy, my roll is really slow. If you see up in the very top right hand corner of the screen, or not the very top, but just below the very top right hand corner of the screen, you'll see equip burden, and it's at 35.9 out of 40, and that is 89.8% equip burden. That's how much of the maximum weight that I can carry on my body I am using up. And In Demon Souls, there are 2 levels of equip burden. There is high and low, basically. High is you are able to carry the things that you are wearing, but it's going to slow you down. Low is you're light, you're quick. I'll illustrate for you. If I remove all this stuff, look at our roll now. Look at how much quicker we are now. See? Much quicker roll. And basically the game's going to be much easier for us with the fast roll, because we're actually able to dodge enemies' attacks and things. And the benefits that we get from wearing armour are not actually that much. So we're going to play a surprising amount of this game with basically no armour on. And just one final thing on equip burden, in the interest of clarity, the threshold, the cut-off between fast and slow is 50%. So if you've got less than 50% equip burden, you're going to be doing the fast roll that we just demonstrated. Anything over that, you're going to be fat rolling. So you want to stay under 50% at all times, basically. You can increase your max equip burden, as we'll talk about a little bit later on when we get to leveling up and stuff, but just keep in mind you always want to be below 50%. So with that being the case, we're actually going to put our trousers back on, I think. We can put our trousers and our gauntlets back on. Yeah, and we can still fast roll. Sweet. They're not going to give us that much of a difference in terms of damage reduction, but I always feel mentally slightly better about having some armour on versus no armour on. So, tutorial area. Let's move forward. We're just going to go straight along to the end of here. There's nothing crazy going on here. What you should do is, if this is your first time through, is you should be reading these messages here, because they will teach you the controls. So we've got R1 is standard attack. This guy's going to come towards me. Don't know if he actually attacks me or not. It's been a long time since I actually played through this tutorial area. So yeah, make sure you read those messages on the floor and sort of take your time. Make sure you're absorbing everything. I'm going to run through this area pretty quickly because there is nothing of great complexity here. If you do have any questions, anything that you think I've missed, or anything that might be slightly confusing you, or you need some further clarity on, whoops, I'll try not to eat absolute shit off these guys, please do leave a comment down below and I will endeavour to answer every single one. As I say, my goal here is primarily to get you through the game for the first time, rather than being completely thorough. So I may brush over some stuff, I may miss some things, please call it out. So you'll see just a little sort of pointer. You'll notice that I'm walking about everywhere right now, basically with my shield up. This is Dark Souls, Demon Souls, FromSoft game 101. If you're going to an area where you don't know, walk with your shield up. I'm holding L1, I'm walking with my shield up, because what From Software like to do is, let's say we're coming around this corner here, they will plank an enemy, like right here, basically waiting to strike you as you come around the corner. So if you have your shield up, it means they're going to hit your shield and not hit you. So I'm walking about with my shield up. That is Demon Souls 101, and it will serve you very, very well later on. I think we get ambushed here as we come out onto this bridge. Probably when we pick this item up. Do we? Do we get ambushed? Maybe I'm misremembering. Yeah, no, I think we're good. Ah! There we go. Okay. So we're nearly at the end of this tutorial area already. We've just got a few other little guys to fight. Just on the subject of fighting these standard little boyos. number one, I'm just edging closer to one of them so that I pull only this guy towards me, and then I back off. So that I'm not having to fight 2-3 guys at the same time. Again, another Demon Souls 101 tactic that will serve you well going forward. So again, I'm just edging closer to this guy. These dudes, I'll try and illustrate it slightly better when I get this last guy on his own. But these dudes, as you'll see, will often open their attacks with a big lunge. Like, watch this guy come towards me. He's going to do a big lunge attack, probably. Yep, there we go. And we just keep our shield up, rotate around him, and then it takes us 3 hits with a longsword to kill him. So we're going to see these guys a lot for the next little while, and we just want to be bearing that in mind. Let's try it again. So he's going to probably lunge at me. They don't always do it. There we go. He lunges. We roll around him. And that is all she wrote for him. I'm just checking to see if there's any items and things around here. Yeah, here we go. Again, there's nothing particularly crazy in this area that we need to worry about. But these moon grasses are... These are what heal us. So if you press square, you'll see at the bottom of our little item radial thing on the bottom left hand corner of the screen, the thing on the bottom is your item that you're holding that if you press square you'll use. So we've got Crescent Moongrass, which is the lowest level of healing item, Half Moongrass, which is the one up for it, and then you've got like Full Moongrass, New Moongrass. Noble's Lotus I think stops bleeding off the top of my head, which we don't need to worry about just now. But yeah, and you press down on the D-pad just to change which one of these you've got open. So we're just going to touch this Arkstone, and it will take us to the next area of this tutorial. We're nearly at the end of it now. Florian Outpost. Again, just make sure you're reading these messages on the floor because they will teach you the buttons. And now we have an actual human man. So again, I'm just going to keep my shield up. Shield up. We're going to wait for him to attack. He attacks, we roll around behind him. And smash his head in. I keep my shield up because it means if I do get my timing on the roll slightly wrong, he's going to hit my shield, he's not going to damage me. But we're just waiting for enemies to commit themselves to attacks. And we'll deal with parrying a bit later on. We're just waiting for enemies to commit themselves to attacks and then capitalising, which is the fundamental sort of methodology of approaching combat in these games. See, that time we didn't manage to roll him, but he hit our shield, so it's fine. And we wait for him to miss and leave us with an opening. The only thing we need to be mindful of is the green bar up in the top left corner of the screen, which is our stamina bar. So you'll see when we swing our sword, we're using stamina. Same if we roll, we use stamina. If we sprint, we use stamina. And if we block an attack with our shield as well, that also takes stamina. And the stamina it takes is proportionate to the force of the attack. So the bigger the enemy, the harder they swing, the more stamina it takes. As I'll demonstrate with this guy. Again, with this guy, we don't want to be fighting in this tight little corridor because our sword's going to hit off the wall. And we also don't know what's ahead of him. So we might move forward and pull a second guy. So we're just pulling him back to this more open area where we can freely move around and dodge his attacks. He's going to keep trying to do this shield bash. I would be killing him if I was not just kiting him about for explanatory purposes, but he likes doing the shield bash, which is really easy to roll around. We block his sword attacks. You can see the stamina's going down, so we just need to keep our eye on how much stamina we have. It's something that you might struggle with early on, but you get a good sense for as you become more experienced. So we know we can pretty comfortably block a couple of this guy's attacks. And we're just rolling around him. So the point I was making is, see, that's what happens. That's what happens when you in theory run out of stamina. We'll just deal with this guy. So the point I was trying to make is, if you block an attack and then immediately retaliate back with a couple attacks of your own, see, I'm left with very little stamina. So if I then find myself, okay, I need to get out of that situation, I need to roll away, if I've got no stamina, I won't roll. So you just need to be mindful of your stamina level. And we're going to heal up. Just because that guy managed to hit us. But it's something you will get better at as you go on. You generally, you end up just getting a sense for how many attacks you can get away with. It's a good idea if you do, again, I'm just going to pull this guy back. It's a good idea if you do pick up a new weapon or something like that, just try and get used to how many swings of this can I do before I run out of stamina. Because at some level, Demon Souls, Dark Souls, all From Software games are basically rhythm games. It's getting into a rhythm of, okay, how many attacks does the enemy do? How many attacks can I do and still get out of there? I really want to pull this guy back into the open area, but he's just not playing ball right now, so I'm just going to kill him. I want him to do his shield bash attack so I can roll around it and get behind him. Is the tactic. Again, he's not playing ball at the moment. You just need to exercise patience. We could use this dude for an opportunity for a lesson in parrying. Just want to get away from. So if you press L2, you will parry, you will thrust your shield out. And if you time that with an enemy attacking, you will parry their attack and leave them open for a critical attack. Just like that. So what you do is, you time it so that just as their attack's about to land, you press L2, and then they'll go, whoa, and sort of become open. You don't press any directional buttons, and then you just press attack, and you'll automatically do a critical attack. I would say parrying's probably more useful in some of the Dark Souls games, particularly Dark Souls 3, than it is in Demon Souls, but it is a good skill to build up. It can get you out of some tight situations, particularly areas like that corridor where there's not a lot of room to fight. And it can be difficult to try and kite people about. Being able to parry and just end someone without worrying about space is beneficial. So this area here, again, we've got our little crossbow man here. We're just going to make sure our shield's up, because when he hits us, our shield's going to block all of the damage. We're going to wait for him to shoot. And that's how you deal with crossbow man. Another enemy type that we will see a lot going forward. Now I'm trying to remember where we're going again. Oh yeah. Again, I'm keeping my shield up as I'm moving forward because I don't know what's ahead of me. I see another man above at the top of these stairs with another crossbow man behind him, so I'm just going to keep my shield up. I'm going to pull a sword man down here so crossbow man can't get me as I fight him. I'm going to wait for him to commit. It's fine, we didn't get around him there. Oh, we almost did. I'm only attacking once because I'm mindful of my stamina. He's committed. There we go, we get the backstab in. So that is the other type of critical attack that you can do in Demon Souls. If you manage to get right behind an enemy, drop your shield. Again, don't press any directional button. Press R1 and you will do a backstab like that. Which is insanely useful, and you will see me do it over and over again as we play through this game. We'll deal with crossbow man. We'll go through our fog door. Shield up instantly again because we're going to get attacked immediately. There's a backstab. Useful little pointer with the longsword. So for those tighter areas, you will see our R1 attacks like this sweep. And if we do it, say somewhere like here, we're going to hit the wall. But our R2 is like a thrust attack. So you can use the R2 in tighter spaces where your R1 might hit a wall. I'm going to go down here. I think this might just be a healing item or something, but we're going to go down here and pick up Halfmoon Grass. And then we're about to see our first sort of boss enemy. Do not panic when you see this. I will say it ahead of time here. You are supposed to fail this fight. It is okay. Do not panic when you see this. I'm going to try and beat him. I probably won't succeed. But you're supposed to die in this fight, so don't panic. What I'm going to do for this to try and beat this guy is I'm going to press triangle, which makes you two-hand your right-handed weapon. So I'm two-handing the sword. Just means I'm going to do a bit more damage because this guy's big. I'm not going to be blocking his attacks anyway, so I may as well not use the shield and get the extra damage from two-handing. So let's go. Vanguard Demon! Hey buddy! So if you do want to try and beat him, he's slow. You want to stay close to him. You want to stay close to him. He's good. He only has a couple attacks that he does. You want to dodge just before his attack hits the ground. And you want to be mindful of this butt smash because it does AoE. I would always recommend dodging towards the axe on his axe attacks. Oh, and he's wiped me. Even I'm not perfect. You will notice now that we've died, our health is halved. So now that we're dead, we're in what's called soul form, which means basically we're not in our actual body, we are a soul. And when you're in soul form, you have half health. Unless you're using an item, which we will get very soon, which will change that. But yeah, we're stuck at half health for now. The key difference really is when you are in human form, when you have your body and you have full health, you can be invaded by people. And you can summon people. When you're in soul form, you can't. But the trade-off is you only have half health. So first thing to do is go around the Nexus, talk to the various people that you see here, and then we will reconvene in a minute. So just one little pointer, when you come over here, you will meet our dear friend Stockpile Thomas, who basically acts as a storage receptacle for all the items that you don't need. Unlike the Souls games, Demon Souls, you have an item burden stat, which is the maximum amount of items you can actually hold in your inventory, even those that aren't equipped. So routinely, as you come back to the Nexus, you're going to want to come over here and dump stuff that you're not going to need. So for example, I'm not going to use this mail breaker, so I'm going to put it away. I think that's all really. Yeah, I'm going to put the armor that I'm not wearing away. And I think that's it. So yeah, this doesn't really cost any weight. So you're going to want to routinely keep coming back to Stockpile Thomas and dumping stuff that you don't need. Okay, if you've wandered around the Nexus, spoke to all the people here, the next and only thing we can do at this point is go to World 1-1, which is the first sort of proper world in Demon Souls, where we're going to beat our first level, fight our first boss, and then we'll come back and we'll be able to go to all these other stones. So basically in Demon Souls, the way it works is all of these stones here, all of these arc stones are different worlds in the game, and each of them have different levels within those worlds. And in order to beat Demon Souls, we need to clear all of those levels and defeat all the bosses at the end of all those levels. And that is it. Basically, we unlock the end of the game. So we have to start at this stone. So the way we refer to them is, this is world 1, this is world 2, this is world 3, this is broken so it doesn't count, world 4, world 5. So if I say 1-1, I mean world 1, level 1. Same, it's the similar to Mario game. 2-1, world 2, level 1. So the only place you can go at the start right now is 1-1, which is the Gates of Boletaria. Let's go. So, here we are at the Gates of Boletaria. You will spawn facing these stairs and this big gate. Don't move yet. We're going to go up that way in just a moment. Basically, the end goal of this level is that big gate that's directly in front of us at the end of this path. We need to open it because the first boss is behind that gate, but we need to go in a bit of a roundabout kind of way to get there, and then we'll eventually come back here. First, what we're going to do though is we're going to turn around and go to the end here and pick up some late moon grass. Then we'll go back this way, because this is the way we need to go. Now, as we move forward here, there's going to be some of those little withered zombie looking guys on either side of this bridge. So we're going to take it slow. We're going to keep our shield up. And we're going to try and just make sure we're not pulling too many of them at the same time. So see, this guy's already aggroed to us. We don't want to move forward any further in case we aggro any more of them to us. So we're just going to let him come. He's going to dive. We're going to go around him. And we're going to kill him. And that is going to be the pattern. We're going to let them commit to an attack. And then there's next one's up on the left over here. I'm just going to wait. Come on. We're going to let them commit to an attack. And then we're going to punish them. So just be patient. Try and bait them into the big dive attack. Let them bounce off our shield. Go round them. The reason that I go round them when I'm fighting them to behind them is because they do have a bit of a sort of berserker, panicky, slashy attack that if they catch you front on with can be pretty nasty. So always just make sure I go behind them so they can't easily hit me with that. So again, we're just going to keep our shield up. We're going to move forward slightly and pick up this item, which is just more moon grass to help us heal. There is this area off to the side here. We've just aggroed the enemy directly ahead of us, so let's deal with him first. Again, we're just going to wait, bait him into that big leap attack. And there's our backstab. So you see how I dropped my shield there. I stood still, I pressed R1, and I got the backstab off. There's this area off to the side here, so you'll see items down off this bridge. We can't actually go there yet. You need to do something later in the game specific to unlock this gate and get through here, so we're not going to worry about that just now. We cannot get that way just now. Just in case you looked off the bridge and happened to see those items and it was annoying you how you could get down there. So there's more guys again up on either side of the bridge here. So we're just going to take our time once again. Now we don't really have any choice but to pull these two guys at the same time. Oh, maybe we do actually. Yeah, we managed to pull just one of them. So again, I'm just going to wait. Guy commits to an attack. Round in we go. Backstab. Now we'll deal with the second one. You'll notice that I just go far enough just so they notice me and then I back off immediately. Just so we don't pull any of these other guys that are behind him up here and we don't make this harder for ourselves than we need to. And that next one's up on the right hand side up here, behind this bit of wood that he's probably going to smash through. And you'll see I've made schoolboy error and actually aggroed the guy behind him. I say I've made schoolboy error, I'm not sure they can avoid it. Funnily enough, the guy behind the wood that's nearer us hasn't aggroed us, so that's a bit strange. I've never seen that happen before. We'll just bait him into the leap attack. Roll round him. And he's dead. Let's see if we can actually... that guy up on the bridge is aggroed to us as well. But it's fine, because we'll be able to deal with this guy quickly. If you're struggling with these guys early on, what I would recommend is just getting as far up this bridge as you can, going back to the Archstone, and resting to reset the enemies. So let's just say I'd taken some damage and wasn't doing very well and was having a difficult time. I would just come back down here. You can, I'm not going to do it obviously just now, but you can touch the Archstone, hit Gates of Boletaria again, and that'll you'll rest at the Archstone. You'll respawn into this level, you'll have full health again, and all the enemies will be back. So I would just repeat it a few times until you get comfortable with it, basically. The way I got good, so Dark Souls was my first one of these games, the way I got good at Dark Souls, and it helped me a lot coming into Demon Souls, was just, I took the very first area of Dark Souls like this, and just rinsed and repeated it until I could get through it, basically without taking any damage. Without taking any damage, and without any bother, and that's how I learned the sort of fundamentals. So if you're struggling with this, just keep doing it, go back and repeat it, until you start to see the enemy's patterns, you start to be able to read their movements, and you start to understand. Okay, there's a little dude with a fire sword over on the right hand side here. We just need to be mindful of. I'm just going to pull him back down the stairs because I know there are more men over to my left. Now, our shield blocks 100% physical damage, but it does not provide 100% fire resistance. So you will notice if the guy with a flaming sword hits your shield, it does a little bit of damage. So we can't go this way yet. We're eventually going to want to open this gate. And you'll see our friend is, one of our friends is finally, has kindly left a note saying turn back and go behind you. So this is the way we're going to go, straight ahead here. This is the gate that the boss is behind that we have to open and then come back to. So there are more men behind this man, so we're just going to wait and we're going to pull him down these stairs. Let him commit. Backstab. You might have noticed we picked up fire bombs and pine resin. Pine resin lets us set our weapon on fire, so like those little flaming sword guys that we just killed, and fire bombs is literally like a fiery grenade that we can chuck. We're going to hold on to them because they are going to serve us well in the boss fight at the end of this level. I'm just going to take my time going up these stairs. You'll see there's an item behind this gate. We're going to be able to open that gate later on, so don't worry about that for now. Round this corner there's Mr. Crossbowman. I'm just going to keep my shield up, and he can't do shit to me as long as I got my shield up. There are people down on the ground next to him here. I'm just going to wait here, and the first one will aggro to me. I'm just waiting on him coming. I'm going to pull him round here, keeping my shield up so the crossbowman can't damage me. Whoops. Oh, I took damage for the first time. Sad. We're going to get shield up back around the corner. We're going to pull the next guy that's down on the ground here towards us. I'm just trying to remember if there's one at the left, but I don't think there is. If we go close enough under here, crossbow guy's not going to be able to hit us. But there is a hole in the ground there that we don't want to fall down, because it is death. So we're just going to not take any chances. We're going to pull this guy back around this corner. Let him sort of tucker himself out a little bit. Come on. And now we're just left with Mr. Crossbowman, so we're going to keep our shield up. I fucking managed to shoot us. Oops. Wow. It was a lot harder than it needs to be. Yeah, so this hole down here is... It might look like there are shiny things, but that is death. So you don't want to go down there. Yeah, I'm just going to check there's no items here. Nope. Halfmoon grass up here. And now we're going to go into this little room here. Shield up here because I'm pretty sure this is dark and we're about to get attacked. See what I mean? See what I mean earlier on? What I was explaining about how they like to keep enemies in little places where they ambush you. Prime example number 1 there. Prime example number 1. Again, shield up because there are more men in this room. We're just letting them commit to their attacks and we're rolling around them. Emphasising the shield up once again. If you're not attacking in this game and you're not in the Nexus or somewhere that you know is safe, you should always, always, always have your shield up. Some more firebombs, which will be useful later on. Again, shield up. Now just take your time with these guys. Keep your shield up. Keep an eye on your stamina. Watch out for them being little dickholes and chucking firebombs. You just have to wait for your opening. You just have to be patient and watch the timing of their attacks. And try and get them to both commit themselves at the same time. And then you'll see your opening. Again, if it's another one of those areas that you struggle with, go back. Do it a couple of times, get comfortable with it, because this is really the time in the game for learning the fundamentals. Taking your time, making sure you know what you're doing. And we're going to go through the fog door. Watch out for this little dickhole, because I think he's going to chuck a firebomb at us. Yep. We're going to run through here. We're not going to dilly-dally, because if we dilly-dally, we'll get donked on the head by some fire. That's just a mail breaker, which we don't really need, so I wouldn't worry too much about that if you don't want it. We're going to wait for this guy to chuck a firebomb. We're going to fucking rush him before he gets a chance to get another one off. We shield up as we go up these stairs, because there's going to be more dick holes. We're just going to move a bit quicker now. Duck, dodge, dip, dive and dodge between those attacks. There's another little friendo behind us, chucking firebombs. Him there. We'll go back for him later on. Now we've got fire sword boys. Again, I'm just biding my time. I'm just trying to bait him so that he commits to an attack. I let him whiff and then I charge in and take him out. Oh, where did you come from? Did he fall down? Wow, he fell down from there. I've never seen that happen before. I have never seen that man come down from there. That's strange. Oh, we got hit by fire. I've never seen that guy move before. That's interesting. Again, we're just gonna wait for him to commit to a firebomb, and then we're gonna rush him. I'm gonna run under this dude before he can get a firebomb off, and then we're gonna go left out of this hole here. Now be careful here because you can fall off the edge, so we're just going to shield up. Take our time on the way out. Dodge around this guy's attack. That's all she wrote for him. There's another guy up here in this little hole. Again, careful of the edge. Block his attack. Get round him, backstab him, shield up again in here because there's another one. You're really going to be throwing firebombs at me, pal? Just let him firebomb himself out. We'll get this item. Now, there is an item down there which we're going to be able to get in a minute, but we need to do something first before we get it. If we stop at the bottom of these stairs, you'll see that there is a man waiting to push a boulder down the stairs towards us. So we're just going to bait that out of him. Run back down the stairs and get out of the way. And you'll see the boulder opens up the item for us. So we can drop down and we get the Bastard Sword, which we are going to use very, very soon. I think I'm going to use Bastard Sword. So we're just going to take our time up these stairs. I think this is another little firebomb guy. Oh no, he's not. He's going to actually attack us. I'm using my R2 there to get him, just because we're on a tighter little stairway. Come on, crossbow boy. Stop backing off and hit me. Just be mindful of these other crossbow guys in the back up here. Sometimes they can aggro to you when you stand here. We don't need to go that way, I don't think. Yeah, we don't need to go that way, so we can just leave them if we want to. I'm going to deal with them anyway, just for posterity's sake, so they don't cause me any problems. We've got Spearman and we've got Crossbowman. I'm just going to let Spearman come towards us. The trick here is listen out for the audio cues of the crossbow firing. And then make sure you're in defensive mode with your shield up when you hear that crossbow noise. We're going to get these healing items. As I say, we don't need or want to actually go this way yet. So down here you'll see a red eye knight. This is somewhere that you can and we probably will come back to later in the game. Because if you look... If you look over here, you'll see that red eye knight is just guarding like a door. There is something behind that door that will be of interest to us later on. But we can't and don't want to go that way right now. So up here we'll come up against another one of these blue eye knights. Again, there are people in that room at the far end here, so we're just going to want to be a bit careful about how we play things. I'm going to want this guy to come towards me. The shield bash is the attack we want because we just roll towards the shield and we can get an easy backstab. Again, I'm just making sure you don't fucking dare heal on me, you little dick. And there's another textbook parry. So the critical path is through this fog door, but we're going to do ourselves a favour first and we're going to go this way. Someone tells us this is useful, so we're just going to keep our shield up. because these rooms are dark. There's nobody up on this first floor. With some more firebombs, which will be extremely useful to us. We're going to take our time going down these stairs, because we will see there are fire boys charging towards us. Nice effort, lads. Again, take our time down these stairs, because there are more enemies. Here we go. We just don't, there's quite a lot of these guys down here and we just don't want to get swarmed by them all at the same time. Took too long. Again, I'm just using my R2 because I'm in a tighter space. You see, if you look down here, you'll see all of those guys. Now, what you can do, if you're a clever cookie, is chuck a firebomb, and if you're lucky you will blow up those barrels. We'll maybe need to get a little bit closer. Okay, before we do that, so you're coming down these stairs, you'll see this opening to your left. You want to go out here. It might look on first viewing like there's nothing out here, but see these chains? I wonder if you could see it from here. These chains are holding bodies up, and those bodies have items on them. So you need to cut those chains. And you can just about see there the body where an item fell to the ground. Because at least one, maybe two of those things are things that we're going to really want. I'm just going to edge my way down here a little bit more. I want to try and blow these guys up. You can see how it works. It's just not landing perfectly for me. That's what I get for trying to be fancy. Oh shit, I just threw a firebomb when I thought I had my healing item out. You don't want to be doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to edge my way down these stairs, and we're going to try and fight them all one by one. As you'll see I'm doing here, you can kind of use the angle of the stairs against them. Like they will lunge at you and fall back down the pit. Oh my god, come on dummies, get up the stairs. This is just a bit of a cat and mouse effort. I think we only have one left. Okay, now it is safe to go all the way down here. And we're going to pull this lever. And that is going to open this door right in front of us. I'm going to pick up this item here, which is the cling ring. I'm going to put it on instantly because you will see, I mentioned earlier we get an item that does this for us, but it takes less HP reduction when we're in soul form. So now, when we're in soul form, instead of having 50% health, we actually have 75% health, which is huge earlier on. And then out here you will see these bodies that we dropped down. So that's just some armour and some aged spice, which is a mana regenerating item, and a jade hair ornament, which is a quest item that we're going to give to Stockpile Thomas when we get back to the Nexus. And if you see out here, this is where we started. That's the Arkstone we started from down there. We walked up here, we went this way, and then we went round here and fought this crossbow guy. Well, now we've opened up a shortcut because we can actually just go in here and go straight up these stairs. Okay, back at the top of these stairs. We're going to go through this fog door where the Blue-Eye Knight was last time. We're going to put our shield up because we don't know what's through here. And then we're going to go down these stairs. If we just look over here, we're going to see there's a knight standing there with a lot of little undeady dudes. Very angry at him, shouting, "Arr, arr." That is Ostrava. And he is going to be our friend that we are going to save shortly. Coming this way again, we're just going to take our time. Come on. Because that guy throws a firebomb that's going to blow up those barrels. Just try to bait him a little bit. Come on. Okay. Now, again, over in this corridor, this is another little cheeky From Software trick. We can see one spearman ahead of us, but he is actually a decoy. And if we charge towards him, we're going to get butt fucked. So instead, because I am massive IQ, super experienced player, we're just going to edge our way forward, and then when he starts coming towards us, we're going to go back. And there was our guy waiting to ambush us. And now we're good. Okay. Yeah, there's a few ways we can go here. We're gonna cover all these paths. So first we're gonna go right, and we're gonna break our way through here, and we'll find a merchant.
Care to look over mostly stolen. Brave knight, and those who dare cling to it is the end. But hell.
He doesn't have anything massively interesting to us, but if you do need some more firebombs or some healing items, you can pick them up here. He has nothing
I'm not going anywhere.
particularly useful to us at this moment in time, so we're just going to leave him be. As I mentioned, there's a couple of different ways we can go. I'm going to go down this path first. I think we're about to get ambushed again, so I'm just going to take my time. Get my shield up. I think there's a... Nah, we're actually pretty good. Okay. Right. So you can go this way if you really want to, but going this way means we're not going to be saving our little friend back there that I mentioned we were going to save, so we're actually going to go back. And if I can remember which way you need to go, I think it's this way. We're going to vault over here, and it's going to take us down to him. Don't speak to him yet, because if you speak to him, he's going to jump down there and he's going to die. We're going to pick up this thief ring, which we're actually going to put on right now. So the thief ring just makes it slightly harder for enemies to detect you. So it makes it slightly easier for us to make sure we're only just pulling one enemy at a time. So put the thief ring on. With these little dudes, we are going to chuck some firebombs at them. Just to thin their numbers a little bit. I want to keep some firebombs for the boss fight. So I'm just gonna check how much we have left. We're good. Okay, I'm just gonna jump down here and finish this dude off. And as you'll see now that we've cleared the area, our buddy Ostrava's dropped down. Now I'm going to move forward a bit. Again, I'm not talking to him yet. I'm just going to clear path for him. And you'll see we're about to get ambushed. Guess that didn't count my parry. I'm being slightly reckless here because I don't want Ostrava to get hit. But I've got plenty of healing items so I can take the damage. Again, I'm not talking to Ostrava yet. Because when I talk to him, he's going to set off along this area. And if we've not cleared it, he might die. Blue Eye Knight ahead of us. Is that a two-handed sword, Blue Eye Knight? If it is, they are pretty nasty. So we're just going to be... yeah, okay. This guy's pretty tough, so we're going to be careful. If he hits you, sword will do a shit ton of damage. So we don't want to be hit by it. I'm going to let him come towards us. Ow. See what I mean? He staggers us in one hit if he catches us with his shield. Just going to heal while he's getting up. He's quite quick as well. What we'd want to do is basically roll round him the same way we have been doing, but it's just a bit risky. That wasn't exactly champagne stuff, but he's pretty scary early on, so I wouldn't worry if he gives you a bit of trouble. Again, a couple of ways we can go here. I'm going to explore both of them anyway, but you'll see there's another wee guy waiting to ambush us here. Come on. Come on. I'm just going to pull him back so Mr. Crossbow back there doesn't get me. And then I'm just going to explore this way a little bit. Because if I remember rightly, I think these two paths are kind of linked. Come on. I'm just trying to make sure again that I'm only pulling one of these guys. Come on. He was clearly aggroed to me. Get in here. Oops. What happened there is my sword hit off the wall. Okay, now I'm going to go back around this way. Just making sure there's nobody else waiting to nail me as I go and kill this crossbow guy. We look good. Yeah, so this is just taking us back to that other door that we went through. Now again, if we want here, what we can do... just chuck a firebomb, and it'll wipe most of them out. I think there's only maybe 3 tops. I think it's 3 left. Oh. Our R2 attack missed there. I think there's 2 more hiding in this little barn. With the thief ring on, we're much more easily able to just make sure we're pulling one of them. Last guy. If you see me pick up an item and you don't know what it is and I don't cover it, I don't explain it, you can pretty much guarantee it's something unimportant that we're not going to be too interested in. We did pick up some hardstone and some sharpstone there, which are upgrade materials that we are going to use later on. But I will talk about that a little bit later down the line. What I'm doing now is I'm going back to where Ostrava was and I'm going to talk to him just to advance his quest.
My thanks for your brave rescue. I am Ostrava of Boletaria. Accept this as a token of my gratitude.
He gives us a telescope. You'll see now that we've spoken to him, he starts roaming around. That's why we cleared the area ahead of him first before we talked to him. Because if he starts roaming around when there's enemies still here, he could die. And if he dies, we can't do his quest line. And we want to be able to do his quest line. Right, so moving forward again, we're just going to take these wee guys one by one. It'd be really nice if my attacks would land. Instead of just swinging your sword in the general direction of the enemy. I'm just going to make sure this guy's the last one. I think there's a crossbowman up here who may start to shoot at me. Oh, no, but there was another one waiting to ambush us. Another pro tip in terms of stamina regen. So if I spend all my stamina right, you'll see now that I have my shield up, my stamina is increasing slowly. If I put my shield down, it shoots up. I'll do that again. Stamina is increasing slowly, shield down, shoots up. So another thing you'll want to get good at is if an enemy's sort of got you up against it and you're struggling and they're taking your stamina down with their attacks, if they take a break in their attacks, just quickly put your shield down and it'll give you a little stamina boost, and then if they go to attack again, shield back up. And it just helps you better manage your stamina. Again, it's one of these things that as you play the games more, it will become second nature to you. And you won't need to think about it as much. So we want to be going up these stairs to the right, but there's some enemies in a couple of different directions that we're going to have to deal with. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go up the stairs first, because there's crossbowmen up here that will cause me problems if I move forward. And you'll also note, see those 2 little guys on that roof? If we walk over there, they will jump down and ambush us. So we'll just be mindful of that going forward. blue-eye knight up these stairs with a crossbowman. So we're going to pull the knight. We're going to go back down the stairs to where the crossbow man cannot get us. I didn't want to actually go in this corridor, but here we are. This is bad. There we go. We managed to get ourselves out of there. Don't go in that corridor like I did. You want to go out here. And now we've got the room to just circle around him. So see, I'm putting my shield down just to gain my stamina quickly. There we go. Oh, slightly hairier than it needed to be, but it goes to show that these games are difficult enough that even when you do know them inside out, things don't always go completely to plan. Bye, Felicia. He actually didn't die from that fall. So this is the critical path through that fog door. But just in the interest of posterity, we're going to clear this area first. I'm going to come back down here. Deal with crossbowman. Remember I said about those two guys that were going to ambush us on this roof. So I'm going to pull this guy back so that they don't just yet. And now we're just going to be careful. I think you need to get quite far along before they drop down. There we go. You just see I'm just weaving between them, waiting for one to attack, give me an opening, then hit them, and then now you'll see how this all sort of interconnects. So we're now back to the end of this corridor. That little merchant is down that path. Ostrava was down there, so if we hadn't bothered saving Ostrava, we could have came straight this way and come straight out here. But because we saved Ostrava, we went a little bit of a long road. So we're nearing the end of this level now. You'll be pleased to know there's not much further to go. We're going to go back up these stairs. We're going to go through this fog door. We're going to put our shield up. Now you're going to see, if we look around here, number one, hello Mr. Dragon. That is the blue dragon, one of two dragons in this area. We're going to be seeing more of him much later on, and there's an ungodly line of enemies on this path. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn around. We're going to hit those boulders. Bye bye enemies. Now we're free to just walk along here. And you'll see even I'm walking with my shield up, even though I know that there's no danger to us here. It's just force of habit. I'm going to walk up here. I want to take our time. Oh, I got a fright there. It's two spearmen. Again, we're just waiting on them giving us an opening where they've both attacked. He's actually going to try and... We hit each other at the same time there. Now, you don't need to go this way, but just for completedness, I'm going to show you what's down here anyway. This is our dragon's lair, where you will see the red dragon also. There's some items dotted about in front of them. You can actually run out and pick some of those up and run away without dying. There's nothing there that we really need, so I'm not going to bother at this moment in time. And instead we're going to go this way. Now don't just run across this bridge just yet. Because we're going to fight this guy first. Come on. Come on. I'm just trying to move far enough forward. Here we go. You'll see what's about to happen. Here comes our fiery red friend. Oh, come on. We went away too early. Come on. Get over here. Here he comes. Oh my god, fire the bridge. I'm just trying not to die so I don't have to do this whole level again, but what I'm actually doing is I'm shitting out of it too early and he's not burning the bridge down. Here he comes. Right, we're not going to be shitbags this time. There we go. Thank you for doing our job for us, Red Dragon. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to run back down here. Because when you pop out here, what the dragon will do is instead of doing its loop up top, as you will see momentarily, come on. It'll come and land back down here. And that means when we go this way and go to run out onto the bridge, it just takes it a bit longer to come back and gives us a bit more time to run over the bridge. So, now we sprint, full blast, sprint, don't worry about these crossbow guys. Our key motivation right now is getting over the bridge and we'll worry about them later. And see, we're in safety now, so the dragon's not even bothered about actually burning the bridge anymore. And so, we have come to this lever here, which we're going to pull. And we've opened the big gate at the start of the level. Which means we're ready to fight our first boss. But before we can do that, we need to make it back down to the gate itself. And we're not going to go back the way we came. We're going to actually open up another shortcut. But first we're going to need to deal with these little dill holes. I'm just keeping my shield up because there's going to be more buttholes. Try to ambush us. I'm just backing up to an area where I have control of the fight. Ooh! Oh, pooped myself again. I was like in my own little world thinking, should I explain maybe about healing and like how you shouldn't really be too worried about using your healing items because you're going to have plenty and blah blah blah. And I was just not paying attention, and that little man surprised me. But to my earlier point, I had my shield up because I always have my shield up, and so I didn't actually take any damage from him even though I didn't see him. My TV just went black as he threw a firebomb there. Come on, game. It's fine, we're back now. Right. So we're near the end now. All we need to do is get to the bottom of this staircase, basically. And we're good. And we'll see there's a new enemy there, and that's going to be a little hint to the boss that we're about to fight. So, we're just going to take our time again. We're going to try and pull these guys one by one. We're going to hope that they're not all idiots and don't all fall down the stairs, because we need to actually fight them. That little shield dude will throw a spear, as you just might have seen there. So we're just going to back up to make sure he can't hit us. The difficulty I have with these guys is that shield face that they have in front of them is very, very resistant to physical damage. So fighting them like face first is not ideal. They are, however, very weak to fire. So we throw a firebomb at them, you'll see it takes nearly nearly 3/4 of their health off. And we'll just kill that little dude. So ideally, if you're not using fire against those shield guys, you want to get behind them. Just gonna come out here. We don't need to worry too much about what these soul items that we've been picking up are. So you see, I got behind him, and he's weak in his soft, slimy posterior. There's another one down here. I'm just keeping my shield up because they're going to chuck those spears. You'll see they slowly turn towards you. So you just kind of want to keep turning to try and outmaneuver them. A large sharpstone shard, which is another upgrade material that I'll talk about a bit later on. And we're going to pull this lever. And bingo, here we are. Back at the very start. So the Arkstone we started at is down there. This is the big gate that we opened, and through that gate is going to be our first boss fight. So that is going to be the end of this video. I will do a separate video dedicated specifically to this boss fight next. So if you're playing along with me on this playthrough and you're going to keep going, head to that video and we'll take on the boss.